Wow, what a pullback. I don't know what it just did right now. Let's see on the 1 minute. Did it distribute some? Yeah, there's currently something in play over there. Just it distributed something. Looks like now it's just pulling back up. Oh, is this a London Open? Oh, that was a London Open move. Yeah, this was a London Open breaky. Hey, what's up, Extremer? Ricardo. That was the London Open distribution. Now we are consolidating here. We got a resistance and we got support. Yeah, we're just consolidating. Man, like since NFP yesterday, we actually had some pretty nice moves. But NFP was kind of awkward. Like the way NFP played out. Good morning, guys. See Tall Trader in the chat. Woods in here. Thanks, Shubham. What's good? Architect in here. What's up? A Woodan Tate. What's up, everybody? So yeah, this is a Freaky Friday. And on Freaky Friday, we're already down about 1% here today. And this is a PA from yesterday. This is when the NFP came out there, like 8:30. So that was the NFP dump right here. NFP dumped. I think it did like about 100 pips. Yeah, about like 200 pips. We're quite far off the 500 pips target that we're thinking, right? But it just chopped up. And then today, the volume carried over. See, that's why I like stay away from these events because it's always so random, you know? So I think all that we had happen yesterday was there was that range that we were looking at getting filled, right? Like gold was consolidating here. That's support, that's resistance. Boom. Candlesticks came down. You got like, I think that was the next support, but actually no, we're looking more at the 15-minute. Yeah, the 15-minute looked pretty nice, but we got a mini 5-minute support area over there. And then price ended up actually like filling just a bit of that range, came towards that 5-minute support area and then started like pulling back up again. So as we started heading into the NFP time, see price had pulled up, broke away from this accumulation right over here, distributed upwards, and then that was the NFP right over there. So quite a volatile NFP. Priced it in. You can see priced it in. So that's why candlesticks moved up first, because it was pricing in the NFP shorts right over here. Correct. So that's what we're actually anticipating off the NFP. We were actually looking more for shorts on gold. So if you managed to catch a short on gold, you know, amazing. Congratulations. We said take a sell 10 seconds before take a sell 10 seconds before the candlestick opens for the news event over there. Stop loss to the heavens, and that's it. That's a pretty good move. Looks like there was no manipulation on that one, so it was really nice. Just a clean, like the pullbacks were not crazy, straight into profit over there. Yeah, and I think that was the NFP. And then this morning I came onto the chart. I'm like, okay, if we had NFP yesterday and price moved down during NFP and we're down today during the pre-London time with such a beautiful range to fill, you know, then what's the probability that price was going to fill that range to continue moving down? Because we're creating new lower highs, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower high, resistance, liquidity grab, accumulation breakout. Some people caught this move too on their own. So that was a confluence here. We got a beautiful range towards like 40-42 over there. And that was the whole idea over here. And you know, we spoke about this. When did we speak about this? Like yesterday or the day before yesterday, about how candles, when they move up like this, creates like some kind of an imbalance. So you see this massive candle create that little bit of imbalance for price to come down. Nice little doji confirmation there on the 5-minute too. As you can see, usually dojis are a good signal when you're looking for accumulations, because an accumulation is basically kind of like a doji candlestick, because you're gonna have like the body and then the wicks, long wicks, and then PA on the LTF would be moving somewhat like that, right? Creating that body. So it's kind of nice. We got that little bit of situation here. I don't pay too much attention to those confluences much, but yeah, I guess it's like nice to see. It's something that I noticed. Something that I noticed. And you got to see also with the indicator here, you can see, I think at the time we were down like 0.50%. I can't really remember, but we're like completely bearish at that point. And then we took that sell, break of the lows right here to continue. Man, I was thinking about holding this even longer. I was thinking about holding this longer even. Should have held it, but you know, I think I secured pretty nice over here. So got my numbers up a little bit more. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. But yeah, I think that was a perfect event that you could look back and say, okay, you know, if I'm going to hold a runner today, what's currently driving the market? You know, if you don't know what's driving the market, so how are you going to take like runners with confidence? You know, so what we had was a catalyst, and catalyst was NFP directional bias. So I think that's how I kind of like to play it most of the time. When there's some kind of like a catalyst in play, it's a bit easier to like, you know, get a running trade. So yeah, we got pretty good over here. I was thinking about holding 6% like we did in, I think that was in September or like August or something. I can't remember. But I think it's also pretty nice for Friday. Our price came down and just completely nutted. Look at this thing. Just completely nutted. Filled out that range and more. So yeah, pretty good. Now price is accumulating again. We have accumulation. We just got a distribution from the London Open over there. If anyone is paying attention, there was a nice little break over here. I mean, the pullback was quite aggressive though, I have to admit, but that's actually what was playing out right here. Boom, boom, boom. Did a little break and retest before it had that dump. About like 50, 68, 60 pips. 60 pips from this region right over here. Boom, boom. Very nice. See, distribution, TFX concepts, beautiful. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. Man, look at this beautiful one right here. You got that head and shoulders right over here. We're going to do a free simulation this weekend. Free simulation on YouTube. Then we're going to run through these examples. We're going to do it and we're going to run through these examples again. But yeah, pretty nice. This is going to be a big move because you can see it's a pretty big accumulation from this support to this resistance, like 180 pips. So like a really nice opportunity for a distribution. I would say like leaning more towards a bearish direction still, as price is still overall moving downwards. So it just keeps moving down. We got some wicks over here. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe it's heading. For me, I think it's like $4,000. We're looking at $4,000 a troy ounce. This is the mark right here. We're not that far off either. That's only about like what, 350 pips. Yeah, I think that can be done today, and that's gonna be the target. That's gonna be the target, chat. 4K. It's accumulating right now, so it's waiting on the next distribution. It might even distribute upwards. Who knows? It looks like a little liquidity grab below like 4023 over there. But I kind of like want to be very careful of this range because you can see this range. It's starting to get wicky over here. Like, look at this wicks. Wick build up. That's not typically what you want to see. That's like when in King Kong, when they're going to the Skull Island and then they get to the part where it's like the jagged rocks. You got the jagged rocks, and now this is like a Skull Island over here. You're approaching the beach. Super different from what we traded. Look at how beautiful this is. Loads of confluence by the highs, basically selling the highs. Very nice. You see the market conditions so different, right? The market conditions always different. The entry model stays the same, but it's the context in which you're taking the trade that you actually need to lock into. So that's like the time, the current environment. Like it could look like this, or it could look like this, you know, but the entry model is the same. It's the same. It's just context. We've got the first season snowfall here today. Oh, nice. It was November 21st. Time to what? What time is it, tall trader? Time to time to eat some goulash. Yeah, Christmas time. It's a good time to spend money on gifts. Isn't it kind of funny? Like Christmas, Valentine's, Easter, they're just like perfect holidays to get some stimulation to the economy. So people are gonna spend more money here. It's usually like that. So you're gonna see the GDP, not what is it called, the consumer. What's that fundamental? Or consumer, or is it GDP? I forgot what it was, but it's usually low. The first one that comes out at the beginning of the month, it measures consumer spending. So the one that comes out is going to be low because after Christmas, people are spending all the money, right? So that first fundamental we get for the pound usually comes out negative, so bearish for the pound. Can't believe I forgot what it was called. Core retail sales. That's what it's called. Okay, so now I've seen it. Core retail sales. The first, I think it's the first or the second. I can't fully remember. The first or the second one comes out like really low. I think it's the second one. The second month, January, February. The February one of core retail sales for the pound comes out low. Because core retail sales, the first one will come out high because that was December, the previous months. January would be high and February would be low. Oh!
Why are you running?
Breakout. Prison break. Prison break here. How much did it peak right now? About like 46 pips. Michael Schofield is making a run for it. Friday should be reversing a weekly bias. That monthly bias more like it. Look at the way the monthly. I would love to see that 4K mark get hit. And then if 4K gets hit, look what'll happen. Huge monthly candle top wick. Huge monthly candle top wick. This thing will just flip like this, and then you're gonna see something like boom, boom, and price come down from like 4K. Like if we flip 4K, it's gonna be probably like pretty aggressive. We might even see more shorts into like next week. We're gonna wait and see. Let's see, because you know right now it's doing some kind of liquidity grab kind of PA. It's a good distribution. Definitely paid out some people over here. I mean, that wick was about, how many pips was that? Like 43 pips, zero drawdown. Come on now, stop playing with me. TFX concepts, baby. You got a 16 pip stop on this, zero drawdown, like about 45, and it's looked like it's kind of like wicking a little bit here. So you got like a liquidity grab here, the liquidity grab over here. So it's kind of like coming back into the gulag now. You see, because like this is what I used to happen to me a lot. I'll take a buy like this, man. I'll take a buy and have like really big stop loss, and then like expect price to go for like a 1-to-1. So I started noticing like a good amount of the time, I would have profit, but price would always go against me. You know, most of the time, then it would go against me and then hit my stop loss. So like, okay, so if I can get price to move, let's say like, you know, 20 pips, 15 pips, whatever the pip amount is on my entries, then how could I reduce my stop loss and at the same time still manage my risk? You know, because some strategy is going to be different. You know, some strategy going to give you like drawdown, and some strategy is going to give you more profit. You know, so like you got to see like if you're going to reduce your stop loss, how can you manage risk if your strategy is prone to giving you drawdowns? Because that's going to be a different situation than, for example, when you're just having a strategy which is typically should be going in profit. So you see now back in the gulag. Back in the gulag. So finding a balance, you know, you got to find a balance with this thing over here, with this object over here. You got to find a balance. You can't just do this and then do that and expect your targets to always be hit. All right, it's pretty big over here. You can't always expect this. So you got to find a balance with the way the instrument moves. So if you say it gives you like 20 pips, maybe you got to find a way that you can be more refined in your approach to trading. You gotta make me pull out the stop playing with me a GIF again. Pull it out, man. Pull it out. I saw this one here on what did you share on the funny group? Yeah, this guy kind of looked like Drake. I thought this was Drake for a second. Yeah, this is a stop playing with me one. Tenderism. Put some respect on my name. I'll pull up the one where Birdman goes into Charlemagne, the breakfast show, and he walks in and is like, put some respect on my name. All three of y'all. Look at that. Stop playing with me. Unk's got the cheat code. Bro, that's literally like how it is. When the trade plays out, it's just like that. Stop playing me. Damn, that's kind of fatty though. Oh man, look at that. Stop playing. Stop playing with Ankh. Yeah, that's commissions for me. Don't worry, buddy. You can move country. Where did that 1 minute candle... Oh. No. Can you please check the XP farming dank meter? Oh. They also got these... Thank you for those heads up. Damn, but you know, nobody actually goes here, so... I think... And he got the rank 2? Tragic. Tragic. The guy from Everybody Hates Chris. Tragic. Oh, wow. This is tragic, though. This is real tragedy. Look at this. Look at this. So, what have we learned here today? What have we learned here today? Someone write in the chat. What have we learned from just looking at this chart? Anybody? Done and completed. Dusted for the week. I'm out. Nice one, Yasin. Let's go. Let's go. Very well done. Man, we gotta learn that it's not good to be greedy. You see, this is what happens when you're greedy. That gold is bipolar? Yes, exactly. Gold is bipolar, so also, you know, you cannot be greedy. You see, because there's an accumulation break that happened here that played out on the London Open, and there was this larger accumulation break that happened right here that played out. Both of them paid people. Both of them paid people. But the only ones who lost were the ones who were holding the trade. You know, so they gotta like never be greedy like this. You see this? It's like super consolidating. And this is just like, it's not even in just this scenario. But this can also happen like in the sense of a trade like this, the one that took this morning, right? That could also happen. That's why it's also good not to be so greedy, because it will pay you out. But I think it's overall a good discipline to always secure something. You don't have to catch the full move, man. But look at it, looks like it's about to distribute though. Like it actually looks very beautiful. This is, you got clean range all the way up until this is like 40.58, 40.58. If you go on the 15, yeah, the 15, look at the 15 over here. Look what the 15 is doing. The 15 is still looking a bit more clean. Little accumulation, break of the lows, liquidity grab, clean range, nice little SMA confluence. You got the kiss of death on the 15. Like you got a range here is worth about like 137 pips. It looks nice to actually go up because you're getting a mirror effect right now. You see this mirror effect? This, you can invert the scale. You know, you can like do whatever you want to the chart over here. But the market moves always upwards, sideways, and downwards. You see this mirror effect? Got one here, got one here. I'm telling you, chat, it's child's play. Once you lock in, once you like have a system, once you got your system on lock, it's child's play. It's just about like managing emotions, making sure that the market doesn't get the better of you, and just showing up every day, trying to be consistent, trying to be disciplined, patient, willing to learn and adapt all the time. That's all that it is, you know, but it gets easier with time. It's easier said than done, but it gets easier with time. It never gets easy, but it gets easier with time. It gets easier with time. So that's what we're expecting. Then here, the price can fill this range towards like resistance by 40.60. Gets easier with time. Gets easier with time. See a little accumulation here, mirror, clean range. That's what we want to see. Like even something that happened right here. This is a market open. Boom, boom, accumulation, filled up that beautiful range right here. You can see this. Look at that. Nice little shotgun play. Happen right here. Candlestick. Let's zoom into this a bit more. You got a support area over here. You got a resistance up over here. Candlestick came, broke below support, and then broke these previous candlestick lows. You can see entry confirmation, the smoking gun right now. You see on this candle breaking below here, look at this. The next candle didn't break the previous candlestick lows, right? So price didn't move down. Look at this. This candle, it closed below support, but the next candle broke the previous candlestick lows to confirm the move to the downside. See? Look at that. Look at how precise this is. Look at this. Look at how precise this is. Down towards, this is 40.60. It hit 40.60 right to the T, came back up. These are concepts we talk about literally every single day, every week, every simulation. And that's how you gotta like, that's how you tune your eyes. When you tune your eyes, you start seeing the chart like this, you see it everywhere. Right? But if you're still looking for, if you're not looking for that, then you're not gonna see it. But if you're looking for, you understand the patterns, you understand what's going on here. Distribution paid out the sellers, and then look at this, filled up the range, beautiful, came back up, taking out people right here on that wick. Look what happened after we took people out. Continuation, new lower lows were formed. So you actually start to see the pattern in the market. Like you start to see, okay, you know, maybe market's not so random after all. You know, they're always like, there's some kind of autonomy to the markets because they move so freaking repetitive. It cannot be random. It can't just be buyers and sellers who are moving the market, because if that was the case, it would not be as efficient, man. Like the market is so efficient, and the way I see these moves happen every day, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me, especially when there's volume in it, you know. And man, like when I started finding profitability, I thought trading was illegal. You know, I was like, man, this can't be legal. Like this cannot be legal. But the good thing is so many people lose that it's legal. But if so many people won, I think trading would be illegal. Because, you know, it's always like, can we make the rich richer? Yes? Okay. More people can trade. But man, look at this. Beautiful. Create a new lower low. Boom, boom, boom. Nice little accumulation here. And it's kind of like mirroring this. And it's trying to keep pushing upwards. Right now, we got this like mini 5-minute resistance over here that we're trying to get through. We had the initial breakout. Oh, even like GJ is ranging, it seems. GJ's also got some clean range. over here as well. It came down, a little corrective phase that we could have. This range is like 34 pips, kind of like similar to gold, but gold has more candles. But we got that 5-minute area over there, but on the 15 we're already breaking on gold. So if you look at the 15, the breakout's already in play. We just got a candlestick close above resistance. I was trying to break those wick highs and then maybe try and keep moving up over there. Probably could catch one on the 1 minute. But daily bias definitely still is bearish, so you are taking a counter trend move. If you look at the volume today, we've been predominantly bearish. Like since this is the Asia Open right here, and this is the London session, right? So we've been predominantly moving downwards today. Still down 0.80%. So this could be some kind of a pullback. I'm gonna wait and see, because the timing aspect of it is pretty important, you know. So since this is a London session time and price is not continuing to do this, then maybe with the time here with London Open, like price can go up. Because it sometimes happens like that with the New York session. Like price could be bullish even through London, and then when NY session comes around, maybe you're gonna see consolidation and then a reversal. So it could be some situation like that happening there too on the London. For London, I actually expect more of continuations to the downside, but it's not like impossible for the London to behave like the way New York typically does. Stay ahead of order flow with new footprint alerts. Oh, we got new volume footprint here. This is something, if you like to use volume profile, there's a new... Oh, what is this? With our new alert conditions, volume footprints charts have become an even sharper tool to understand market activity. Whether you track imagined pressure or want to catch imbalances, you'll now receive timely notifications when order flow changes, helping you act faster and with more confidence. You don't need an indicator to build your confidence. Like, okay, it's nice. It's really good as confidence. That's fine. Okay, that's totally fine. But you don't need, like, you don't typically need, it's just, it looks nice. You know, okay, for me, what I would say, it looks nice. It looks nice when you take a position and you have those additional confluences, whatever indicator it is, daily bias indicator, SMAs, it just looks nice, right? It can help you with confidence. But at the end of the day, don't forget that price action is king. Like, it's just these candlesticks here that you gotta focus on. How can you read candlesticks? How do candlesticks behave before certain moves? You know, what kind of liquidity grabs do they do? Like, how do they behave before a certain move happens? Because at the end of the day, that's like really what's governing price. It's the price itself. And it's not necessarily much to do with volume indicators. It's just to do with candles. You know, just to do with candlesticks. You gotta read candlesticks. That's what you gotta do. You gotta get good at reading candles. Because that's all you get in trading. You only get candles. Right? Exactly. You just need your EYES. That's all you get. That's literally all you get. Look, if we chop the market down to this, that's all you get. That's all you see. Are just candlesticks. The rest is additional. And if you really like the volume style of trading, then I would challenge you to not just use one volume indicator. I would challenge you to use several. Use several indicators and see if they'll all say the same thing. If they'll all say the same thing, then you know, awesome. Now you have confidence that this is real volume. You know, but if one indicator is saying there's high selling pressure and the next one is saying there's high buying pressure and the next one is saying it's a bit neutral, then what the fuck are you doing? You know, you're just kind of making shit up. You're just making it all up in your head, because now you've put on a layer of something that is not even 100% accurate. You know, you just added something on that you don't even know if it's accurate. So I challenge everybody who actually uses volume indicators. Use several of them. Back test them all at the same time, and this is going to be expensive, I guess, because maybe those things are not so cheap. Back test them and see how accurate it is, and then find the most accurate one So you're going to have like a correlation, yeah? You're going to have correlation of lines. Now you're going to choose the most accurate one, the most medium one, you know, and don't take anybody's word for it. You know, don't listen to anybody who's giving you affiliate links for using those things. Just do your own research, do your own due diligence, and then see for yourself. Because for me, man, like for me, all I can confirm is this candlestick. You know, when this candlestick here closes like a doji like this, I know that Ricardo sees it. I know that Architect sees, Tall Trader, Woods, like I know that we all are looking at the same thing. So this is like as objective as it can get, you know. So yeah, I think that's like really important over there, is to see how objective and how true can your trading be, you know. And then maybe if you still like those other things, you can add those other things there, just to kind of like help you a bit more with confidence. Yeah, you see, like we got one right here. So we got to see with these numbers, even with these numbers, now we got to try with like several other ones and see if the numbers are all saying the same thing. CFD, you can get accurate order flow. In futures, yes, with the right instrument. Yeah, I don't know about this stuff, but that's just kind of like how I would approach it. So I'm not an expert when it comes to how to read volume like this, but as a novice or a noob in this, that's how I would approach it as a noob, because I don't want to waste time, you know. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste time to later find out that this 483 over here is 1000 on something else and 200 on something else, you know. Then that's gonna really like, I can, if I find that out, let's say after a year of using that, I'm gonna be like, what the heck am I actually reading here? Because I know like some brokerages got like different liquidity providers, so it's like very difficult to get the accurate numbers. Gotta read candles, man. You gotta read candles. Look at this. Accumulation. What follows accumulation? Distribution. This is your order flow right here. It's showing you there's a bunch of orders sitting here. Where these orders gotta go? They gotta go somewhere. They eventually have to distribute somewhere. So where's it going to distribute? The first distribution was actually pretty nice. It looked like a quick little scalp move, but it was quite aggressive because it didn't go up all at once. It actually like pulled down once here, just as this one pulled down and pulled back up. And then it started a wick fill. This is now what we call a wick fill. Wick fill broke the wick highs, and then now it's still trying to move up. It's distributing from this bus stop. So you got like a point A over here, and then it's heading towards point B by 40.58. That's going to be the sort of like short-term target that price is looking to go. You see, we also just got a 5-minute candle here, close above resistance, rebroke the highs, and it's still trying to push up currently right now. And there's still a shotgun play. There's not much speed bumps in the way of gold even right now. You can see nice, beautiful, clean range. Look at this. 128 pips, just filling up this whole zone over here. Look at that. So that's why I think, like, for me, it makes sense that if price is moving up, then we're moving up towards 40.58. It's like 0.73 right now. Daily's still bearish, but that was quite a significant move for a bearish trend. Because like since we've been moving since the Asia, right over here, there hasn't been that much significant PA up until this point. You see, this is moving with a bit more gas. And the reason we got gas is because we stopped by the London Open petrol station here. And we filled up with gas, and now we're back on the road. We're back on the road to keep moving up. So you got a little gas stop right over here by the London Open. Had some pancakes while the car was getting filled up. That was a breakfast. Breakfast as we got ready for continuation. I see an inverted head and shoulder too. Nice volume on break. Oh yes, yeah, exactly. Very nice. Here, here, and here. Little bit of an inverted head and shoulder confluence. Beautiful. Head and shoulder confluence. Liquidity grab. That's a maze. Break of the highs to confirm. But it's not. It really is not the cleanest. Like you can get away with like nice little scalps here and here, But if you're planning on like holding this whole move, you'd have to have a pretty important stop loss. So it didn't stop you out. So price can keep going up over here by 40.58. Because you see that first one was kind of trying to shake people out. This market psychology right here. So if you got big stops and you trade big stops, that's a market psychology trick. You could look at it as somebody who maybe was like getting a sell confirmation here, but for me, I believe that a price was just doing a market psychology. Like it put you in, pushed your profit, came down like this to continue pushing upwards. Could have also just been coming back to look for more buyers within this accumulation, because this is the area where there's buying activity. You know, like sometimes this can happen, right? So I remember, I can't remember where I heard this from, but apparently if there's a really big order over here, and if you ever watch the movies, like a guy on a yacht, James Bond guy on a yacht, he calls a broker and he's like, hey, I want to get in by 40.34. I want to buy like 1 million shares, whatever amount. But if it's a big enough amount, the market maker can actually get that order filled for him. So they'll move the market down towards like 40.34 like this. So let's just say C33 user here in the gulag wants to buy like a large amount of orders, then that's how they can get filled. Get filled like this. So if we're gonna move up, we're gonna be moving up, and market job is to facilitate movement. That means it's to look for orders, right? That's why sometimes you see price break out and then come back into the gulag as it looks for more accumulation or more orders before it starts to move up again. So that actually apparently is something that can happen over there, because you know, like people who have a lot of money, they don't trade necessarily like the way we trade, like retail traders, because it's quite a significant portion, and you're better off just approaching trading in a bit of a different way. You're still getting filled, you're still having your analysis, but it's not like you're gonna put that money on a broker, because man, some brokers, they gotta be like, it's very risky, you know, it's very risky. So it's like safer, the more control. That the idea is like, how can you control your money? That's the idea. You know, it all starts like, okay, I need money, so how can I get money? Maybe I can get funded. Once you get funded, you're like, okay, now I'm funded, I need a personal account. You know, once you get a personal account, that's the whole idea. You don't want to be a funded trader. You want to control your money. So if you have $1,000 in there, you want to be able to withdraw $1,000. You know, that's the end. That's the goal. The goal is just not to be funded. And then once you start doing that, you're like, okay, as my account is growing, I'm making a lot of money here. We can't keep doing this the way we're doing this. So we're going to need to kind of like develop our process a bit more. Then you're going to get hedge funds, right? You're going to get hedge funds, hedge funds. And once you get a hedge fund, the next thing is like, okay, so now a hedge fund, where trading is getting more and more sophisticated, more and more developed. Now we're like really tying into the macros, really having impact. Now we need to find a way that we can become the bank. Because once you become the bank, you control your money, you control regulations. You don't have as much regulations anymore at that point. And the final boss is to become the bank. That's the final boss level. Now you're the bank. You see what banks do? You put your money in a bank, they loan it out to other people, they charge them interest, they make money off of your money. That's the final boss level. So, you know, there's levels to this. There's levels to this whole thing. But you gotta realize, like, where are you currently on the food chain? You know, so if you're on the food chain here, as a retail trader, as most of us are anyway, you're gonna have like really great opportunities. See, like these little moves like this, little 43 pip move here, a little bit of a dipper right over here. You can scalp those moves because you're not moving shit. You're just part of the market. You know, you're just along for the ride. So that's your edge. You know what else is your edge? You don't have to trade all the time. You don't have to hedge. You don't have to hedge like a hedge fund. That's another edge of yours, that you can take 1 or 2 trades a day and then call it a day. You know, so you gotta figure out where are you on the food chain and how can you take advantage of that? How can you now, like, you know, actually start to make some money based off of that? With small guys, Oh, he's a shark. What the hell are these things? This is like AI. It's not Geo. Damn, look at that thing. Shark, sharky, shark, shark. Not Geo Wild. Man, but that shark in the dinosaur ages would be like such a insignificant animal compared to the size of those sea. I think the largest animal is actually a sea creature from the prehistoric ages. A little bit of an accumulation is pausing right here. Do you have a video on how to get out of break-even stage? You know, like I can't create a video. The only thing I can do for videos like that is psychology videos, because how can I tell you how to get out of break-even stage if you're trading, let's say, a FVG? And then how can I say the same information and make it as objective as possible for the next person who's trading Fibonacci? The next person who's trading something else? You know, like each one of these three people, they're all going to have different reasons they're in the break-even stage. Right? So it's very difficult to give like a video on how to get out the break-even stage. The only way that we could do it is like a psychology video. Because I think most of the time it could also just be psychology, bad habits that you need to iron out your bad habits. And there's some things in there like, you know, maybe taking less trades and reviewing your trades and just a general advice that maybe you've heard before but you don't apply, that actually like helps. That helps you get out of the break-even stage. Because if you're losing a lot and you're not winning a lot, then you have to figure out how can you control your losing trades. Because if you're not winning, then you're not winning. But how can you control your losing trades? Because that's the only thing that you're going to be able to control. And for me, that's where I found my power to get out of the break-even stage. Was through my losses, understanding how they operate, will better helping me understand how the winning trades were operating. So I could now differentiate between like, okay, so what does a losing trade look like? What does a winning trade look like? So I can lose less when I lose. And when I win, I can try and replicate the winning trades more. You know, I could try replicate why those were winning trades. So you gotta like, you know, journal your trades and look at your winning trades and say to yourself why that was a winning trade. And have a system that is actually like able to follow. You know, don't set yourself rules that you can't actually follow, because some people are gonna set themselves rules that they don't actually follow. You know what I mean? It's like people who create a budget. You say you're going to create a budget, super complicated budget. You don't follow the budget. You create yourself a workout plan. Very difficult. You bit more than you could chew. You don't follow the workout plan. So you have to always set rules that you can follow. If you have like a to-do list of things that you do every day, don't make the to-do list like crazy, you know? Actually put things on the to-do list that you can do at the end of the day. You can actually follow and look back at the day and say you can have like 100% hit rate. You know, it sometimes always comes back down to psychology. And that same psychology is going to trickle in other aspects of your life as well. You see what I mean? Just like having a to-do list, a repetitive one on a day-to-day basis, that also kind of trickles into your just daily activities. So I think it's also a lot to do with like character development and just getting a bit more organized. The largest animal was my ego before this week. That's why you start every day in the military by making your bed. That's achievement 1. Then you build one after the other. Yes. In the military, they got a to-do list, and every day their goal is to finish that list. So you're going to have your surgeon. He's going to pull up with a clipboard and he says, okay, today John's got to do 100 push-ups. You know, it doesn't matter how John feels here at 50 push-ups. John's got to finish 100 push-ups. Even at 50, you're dying. You still gotta somehow find the strength. You gotta complete that task. And then we go to the next task. I gotta do chores. And then the next task, you gotta eat. The next task, training. Next task. But the idea is that you're actually finishing these at the end of the day. Heck, you know, if John can't finish the 100, maybe the sergeant's gonna leave John here until bedtime. Until bedtime, and then they're gonna get like a penalty. You're gonna say, why didn't you finish your chores? Sergeant, you gotta catch up now. So that's how you need like military. You got military type of a routine. Military routines. That's why you see people in the military, man, they're so stoic. They're so stoic. They don't have emotion anymore. You know, because they understand they understand like what it takes to be the importance of stoicism. Because without being stoic, then obviously emotions take control of your days, and you know, emotions in the battlefield, man, those are gonna kill you. If you go to war and you go to war emotional, you're not gonna make it. Because remember we spoke about stress. Stress level is pretty high up here, right? So you gotta find ways to manage your risk. How can you manage your stress in a high stress environment? How can you reduce that stress? You know, how can you reduce that stress? You know, you gotta have some exercises that you do. Like a sniper, if it's really stressed, you gotta take like some breaths. You know, you gotta take some breaths. You gotta calm down. Because man, this stress level, it results in missing shots as a sniper. You gotta miss shots. So you can only take a shot. You're gonna look at your watch. Maybe in the military now, they have like a watch for the snipers. They're gonna look at the heartbeat. They gotta keep the heartbeat at a certain level. And once the heartbeat is low enough, then they can focus better. And then it's more safe to take the shot. You know what I mean? So imagine if somebody was holding someone that you love, and then you gotta take that shot. You wanna be as calm as possible, right? You gotta make that shot count. So, you know, you have to approach trading in a similar fashion. And the best way I can describe that is having a routine, because having your routine is what's going to keep your head on straight. It's not about coming on one day and you're going to feel good one day, and you can't always feel good every day. So the thing that keeps you in check is your routine, because you're not going to feel good every day. Your analysis one day could be really good, but the next day could be really bad. So that routine, you know, there's rules for a reason. We set ourselves rules because they're there to protect us, but we just got to follow the rules. A lot of the time we set ourselves rules, we got our trading plan, spend so much time backtesting it, and then we come onto the chart and we don't follow the rules because we forget the rules are there to actually protect you. But nobody likes following rules. You know, if you see like don't walk on the grass sign, your first instinct is kind of like you wonder why, and you kind of want to walk on the grass. You kind of want to feel it. Maybe it looks really nice and it says don't walk in the grass. You gotta follow your rules. Most of the time you gotta follow your rules. This is trying to break out from this area. With the daily bias still being bearish, down 0.90%. How much did it peak there? At about like 18, 19? Peaked at about a 20. No, 20. Oh, no, like maybe like 18, 19, yeah. Alright, it's trying to distribute from this zone right here. Got a nice clean range on the 5. Still got a little bit of room to keep moving there, like 45 pips. 45 pippers. Hey, good morning, Schwartz. The British Army lads I used to know are some of the funniest people. Absolutely wild. Any joke goes too far. It's quality. I'm still convinced they are trained to kill with laughter. The sign doesn't say don't skip across the grass. Yeah, this army guys usually like quite funny. I go watch a lot of these movies because it's just you and the boys. It's you and the lads out there. So like everything's a joke. Like even when you're just chilling with your mates, everything's kind of like a joke, right? Kind of abusing each other, but they like it's always so funny. It's quite different from like the way I watch my girlfriend interact with her friends. It's like very different from the way I interact with my friends. Like it's nice, very nice, but like very different. She would find like the way me and my mates talk like kind of like yeah, let's not talk about that. It's natural, yeah, it's natural. Actually, I think your best mates are the ones that you abuse, not the ones you talk nice to. Like you see your friend and you're like, hey, fuckface, what's up? I don't know, maybe that's extreme, but yeah. You gotta have those buddies that even you don't talk to like for 6 months, but when you see each other, it's like you just seen each other the other day. Like, cause I've been getting so big. Saw my friend the other day and is like, bro, you gotta what do you say? Like taking too much creatine. Like, yes, sir, man. We're getting pumped. But this is faking out over here now. It's breaking below support. Boom, boom. It's coming back into this mini gulag. Mini fake out situation here. But it's kind of funny because like if it's pulling up, let's go on the daily. Let's see what's going on here. I think it's because 4K is such a significant mark. Like you see, we already tapped 4K here once. It's such a significant mark. It's such a significant mark. I think it's like the sellers are pushing the candles down, but the buyers obviously don't want to see price come down to 4K because, you know, 4K is like a trophy right now. Sure, we're bearish on the daily, but the buyers still have 4K. That's like the trophy. They just gotta hold 4K today. Let's see. Gold poised for a weekly loss amid uncertainty over Fed rate cuts. Our gold prices are on track for a weekly loss of 1.5% after mixed US job report and uncertainty over Federal Reserve next policy move. Let's see. Next policy move. It should still be at what, 39? Oh, after the NFP? Oh, yeah, after the NFP, it went even lower. It went down to 32.9% after the NFP. So NFP numbers came out good. So you see this? Look at what we spoke about yesterday. Remember what we spoke about? Price was revised from 22K and now it's like a 4K. Let's see. This is revised from 22K. Now it's -4. Imagine it got revised from 22K to -4K and the actual is 119K. So that was really good for the US economy. So just like we spoke about here, you know, price on gold moved down. 10 seconds before this came out, boom. Let's get stuck in. Price on gold moved bearish. Because the number was already low. Like 22K, what was the probability a number would come out above 22K? If you look at the past, look at how high numbers come out in the past. You know, so having a number greater than 22K, even above forecast of 53K is really still pretty good probability. You see that? That's what happened, and gold moved down. Gold moved down. But let's look at the DXY. I think DXY should have moved upwards. It's trying to come back into the range. Remember we spoke about here, this reversal confirmation signal? So that's like, if you look at what happened on gold right now, but gold is still trying to like push downwards. But would be expecting the DXY to kind of do something similar like this, because that's what the dollar index looks like. It looks like this, but dollar index looks like that on the higher time frame. You see this? Isn't it like the same thing? It's also got that accumulation right here. Accumulation right here. See, it's like a similar thing, right? It's kind of like a similar thing. but without this part. So we're expecting dollar index to actually follow through a bit more like this, and then go back in there and then recover back into that range. That would mean more medium to long term short positions on gold. So that's like kind of what we're expecting on gold. Is for price to kind of like move down here towards December, right? Where it's kind of like at the bottom of the range there too. You can see this level right over here of $4,000. Kind of like a bottom of the range. Not bottom of this range, but because $4,000 is so significant, you can look at that as a bottom of the range. Because below $4,000 is nothing of significance up towards like 3,900. Because once we take 3,900, now we're essentially creating new lower lows. But the next milestone is going to be $4,000. So that's going to be super important. So we're going to see here what happens. Right now, we're still at the 40s. Candle's got a bit of pressure from the SMAs. Hey, Shallow, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Friends absolutely wild. My bud had gay parents and me and my other bud always used to make fun of him. Oh. I hope that he knew that you guys are just, you know, kind of pulling his leg. Jeez, man. Got a whip over here. Candle in the 1 minute just did about like 51 pips. Kind of struggled. I guess it did give them a fair warning. Right here. I think I'd already be eat on that trade. Because it pushed about a... Let me see. Get ourselves like 2 pip break on the lows. Boom, boom, boom. Close to like 20 out of BE'd. Yeah, about like 19. I'd already BE'd on this. Because I know like my good trades shouldn't give me a hard time like that. I'll BE'd on that one. I guess the other warning for people who would not BE on that would be when that created a resistance over here, pushed down into profit and then started coming back up again. So instead of losing all the way up there, you're gonna lose like right over here instead. So you're gonna manage your risk because look at the way that price would be developing. This is not how you want to see price action develop. You see, you want to see it go into profit. If you expect price to go down, you see once that's pulling up like that, and then it comes back down and does this, man, this is most of the time gonna be a losing trade. Whenever you see markets start to give you like this kind of flow of PA, when it starts moving like this, you see it's like struggling. You want it to go down, but it's like it's showing you something else, right? You think that price can go down, but it's showing you something else. So you got to listen to that and say, okay, you know, I can manage my risk. So instead of losing, let's say, if you didn't break even already, or you didn't take any profits, maybe you had a bigger stop loss. You got to say like, how can I reduce from 76 pips down towards maybe like 33 pips? And I think that's awesome because then you can avoid this unnecessary drawdown over here. You see, but the market always gives you these signs. And it's just your job to listen. But a lot of the time, the ego gets in the way, right? So the ego is going to tell you, man, I want to hold this trade because I want to make money from this move. And then it's that same ego that causes you to take losing positions. And we know this. We all know this, you know? When you're in a trade and you get that gut feeling that you should manage your risk, but you don't do it, you already know it. You're just not acting on that intuition. Fake outs to continue up. Find out today on Wix dips. Wix and dips. No whip, straight pips. What? Could distribute from this area. Again, we could try and go up. Because that's a zone now. I saw a few options on this. Actually, this breakout here. Either 16 pip stop loss, take profit, or bigger stop loss, break even. Those would be the only two ways I would play it. But just for example purposes, playing the devil's advocate for the other players, you got like risk management model here. Dude, it's not a clean accumulation reversal play, but it's still something you kind of want to be risk averse on, I guess. Because even if you look at yesterday's trade, like this thing... See, look at this, beautiful. This is how you want your trades to look. Like this. Look at yesterday's trade. Clean range. You see that same concept? Beautiful clean range. Nice little liquidity grab here. Break and retest. Rebreak of the lows. SMA confluence. It melted nicely. Look at where it melted to. Got that clean range that we're filling up here. So that was like a magnet, you know, like price moves like a magnet. It's like these zones are like magnets. So whenever you get a trade, your trade has a potential to run to the next support area. There's an entry right here. Because that support is going to be like a magnet, you know. So you got to think about trades like that. When you take a position, where is it heading to? What's the magnet? Because it's usually focusing on a certain level, especially if it's going to be a profitable trade. It's usually like focusing to head somewhere. So like for this morning's trade, the magnet was... sorry about that. 40.42. 40.42 was the magnet. You see, like right to the T, boom, 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 bounced right off. But then since we had that bearish momentum, price just broke through that level. It had a reaction here because look, it even created you a bullish support candle because it reacted off a support, right? And then that was like a false signal as well. Maybe for whatever reason people get into buys like this, false signal is just a complete whip. Because I could probably have been getting buys like this on my first year, because if I was trading the 5-minute and we created a support, I would expect maybe price can keep moving up. Get the next candle and then move up like this. But you see, maybe creates have false support, and you see how aggressively it moved down, just completely wiping these orders out. But always look out for those magnets. Like you see on gold right now. Gold right now's magnet is, it's trying to come up towards, so like 40.58. So if you're getting like a buy signal here, then 40.58 would have been the magnet for price to go up until... I said, if it's going to be a winning trade, it's most likely heading up towards like 40.58. If the sell is going to be a winning trade, most likely heading down towards like 40.31. Or like actually maybe like 40.34. Because on the 5-minute here, it still looks pretty clean as well. We broke this high. And also look, we got candle close above resistance, rebreak of the previous highs. It still seems to be pushing up. So I mean, like, it doesn't really matter how great your setup might be. All you can do is manage your risk. That's what keeps you in the game. So if you got a beautiful sell entry confirmation, you hit a break even, or maybe you secure profits because you had a tighter stop loss, awesome. But whatever rules you got to set for yourself are the ones to protect you from the days that maybe the market's just picked the opposite direction and it wants to head towards maybe a buy instead of a sell. That's why you're always kind of managing your risk. And never like marrying a bias. You're never really marrying any single trade, because next trade is around the corner. Damn, my spreads went up right now for some reason. Holy, what is this? Anybody else's spreads on gold just widened? That's crazy. I'm getting like 7 pip spread. Right now it's at 5 pips. It's kind of coming down a bit, but why is spread going up? Usually like spread goes up if there's a fundamental or some kind of news. Okay, now it's back to normal. Now it's back to 1 pip. I don't know what was going on there. Flash manufacturing. We don't have any news though. We don't even typically get news at this time. It's a stress-free time. Is it because people are trying to buy here? Maybe people are trying to catch a breakout. People are trying to catch these buys. This little breakout here. Hey, it's Pain. Thank you for the sub. It's trying to catch a breaky. Ooh, run, goalie! Why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Give them a bomber clot, please. Give them a bomber clot. These are like those you ever like see these Indian bus drivers with the horns. I don't think you can hear it on Discord unless I do that. But it's probably really loud on Discord, isn't it? Like those Indian bus drivers who like drive so fast and then they're always getting in the smallest spaces. India is one of those countries where people I think it's one of those countries where people hoot a lot, right? Like there are some countries where people just hoot. They love hooting. So they'll hoot at every single chance they get. So you're going to get a guy in a tuk-tuk hooting. You're going to get a guy in a Range Rover hooting, in a Benz. They all have the same kind of like, habit. Just going to hoot at everybody. Do 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 do. 40 40 58. Are you from India? No, I'm not from India, my friend. Love that country. I heard in India they don't use toilet paper, they use bidet. If I go to Indian hotel motel, I use a bidet, and toilet paper I have to buy separately. Well, that's very nice. If I eat some spicy food, then I don't want to use toilet paper, my friend. Because toilet paper create hemorrhoid. Hemorrhoid and spicy, they don't go together. Do not redeem it. Yo, Goldie's running.
Why are you running?
Oh, you see, magnet 40 58 over here. 40 58 82 pips. Awesome. That range has been filled. And this is why you manage your risk. This is why when you're gonna take a sell, when we spoke about the sell over here, that's why we're gonna look at the sell and say, okay, how could I have managed my risk on this trade? So we got close to 20 pips, break even. If you're using 16 pips stop loss, take profit. then that's how you're always going to look at your trades to avoid certain days like this. And then what happens is if that doesn't play out, you can look at it again and say, okay, so how can I catch these buys if price then breaks above these highs, right? If you're looking for counter trend moves, basically. And there's a video of this on my YouTube channel that you can go and watch where I did the same exact thing that I'm telling you. You see this? Look at this. I told you, magnet chat. 4058. What I say, if you're gonna have a trade which is gonna be a winning trade, it's gonna go towards a certain level. That level is gonna act like a magnet, right? Just like the sell we took this morning, we had the magnet buy support. Just like the buys here, looks like the buys were actually the play. It had a magnet by 4058. That's why I reckon the spreads went up over here. So it's like people were trying to get into buys potentially. That's the only thing I can make sense of why they went up. That was kind of weird. That was like a big 7 pip spread. Yeah, but that's a video over here you can watch. Live day trading, how to switch bias. Go to my channel here and then go and watch live day trading, how to switch bias. But on this one, I think I took the L. On that one, the stop loss got hit. But yeah, you see this? Look at what's happening now. Why is this happening, guys? It's because 4058 is a magnet. And why is this happening? Is because people are profit taking now from this entry confirmation down there. That was some kind of accumulation breakout. Now you have profit taking. See this? Look at this. Can't make this shit up. How many times must I show you this? How many times? It's just the same way as what happened right over here. I think this was what is that previous example that we showed? But you can see this range is always getting filled up. Like you got one like also right here, from here to here, right to the T. You see now it pulled up from that area. And you also got one from here. Where was that other? This one also got filled up right here. Like from here to here. Right to the T. You see, then you get those reactions. You get those reactions. The same way you're getting reaction here. Now, it doesn't mean that now it's going to completely reject. All this means is this profit taking, right? You just get into profit taking in the market. If there's enough buyers, sometimes what can happen is that next candle can re-break the highs like this and then keep going up bullish. But this is a good way to like kind of have an idea of where your trades are heading to, right? So if you want to hold them a bit longer or you're looking for a certain target, that's kind of a good way to look at things. All right. And if you still want to hold beyond this point, then you know that at this point is a big question mark for us because we don't know if price can break 4058. We don't know this. This is the level that we've met. So if it breaks it, then awesome. That's going to be like a bonus. So you get like a bonus runner. But you don't want to see price hit a key level like that and then start to come back down like this. That's more risky. So best case scenario, you got to put your stop loss to break even then. But now this needs to set up again. You see, it's only had one distribution. You see this? This is a distribution right here. That's how that looks when it's paying people. And this is how that looks when it's setting up to pay people. So you got this. And that's your targets on when you start incorporating the higher time frames into the mix, then you start getting like a better idea of where candles are going. So I think, that's what I did for my sales this morning. And that's how I caught 5% this morning. So it's all about like repetition, practice, and just locking in. Some people don't want to lock in. Some people, they think they're going to figure it all out by themselves, but you're not going to figure it out on your own. Everybody needs some kind of a guidance. So never think that you're going to figure life out always on your own. Especially when it comes to trading. In trading, you have to be willing to invest in your education. If you can't invest in your education, then you're going to invest more in your mistakes. Because think about this way. I don't know, let's use Gordon Ramsay as an example, right? If you want to open up a restaurant, maybe not the greatest example, but just for example purposes, you would want to have a guy like Gordon tell you how to do it. Because in the beginning, you might have some luck, Most businesses typically have a bit of luck like when they start, but then it's usually like afterwards the problems come in. Yeah, 5% today on gold shorts. Because I told you, my strategy runs, my trades run. Like my trades run. I just need a hold. Whenever I need a boost on my account, that's what I used to do when I was still growing my account. I would try and like hold my trades more. You know, also depends on like how price is moving. Obviously, market condition would dictate a lot. If markets are ranging like how Gbpjpy is ranging this year, I don't think you're gonna have runners. Gbpjpy is completely terrible this year. So you got to look at the instrument you're trading and see like what it's capable of. So my trades run. Like whenever I need boosters, I just leave them to run. Even if you look at yesterday's trade, you'll wonder why I close so early sometimes. It's because like, I don't need to hold the trade sometimes, you know. But like they move, they still move. They move. Imagine now I put a 16 pip stop loss on a running trade. Like they really move, you know. The important thing is just not to be greedy. You know, you don't always have to hit a home run. Try and avoid days like this as well, where it's like it comes down and then pulls back up. You also want to avoid majority of those days. So I would say to you, you can set yourself a rule, yeah? If you're going to take 2 trades a day, one trade, try as a running trade, and the next trade, try just as a normal scalp. So you're going to have like a better idea. And for the running trades, preferably use those zones we spoke about here today as magnets. Those are going to be your targets. So you put yourself in a position like that, you're going to have a higher probability of a runner. I see it like still continues to break, and that's kind of like bonus. This is like when we got to do a simulation and we're going to secure partials and let the rest run basically. Because now the next zone is going to be here by... that's going to be by 4076. That's 177 pip range. That's... Sorry, how much is this? Yeah, like 121 pip range. So yeah, we gotta see if price can respect this area, but you see it still hasn't rebroken the previous candlewick highs to go up. That's gem advice. Thank you. I'm going to take liquidity and push down. Can you explain why you had 48 marked out? I'm just going to assume that you just joined the chart right now, and I'm just not wasting my breath. I'm just going to assume you joined the stream right now. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to explain it again. You just got to like watch the stream later, because we've talked about this so extensively. When would the simulation be this weekend? We're going to do it on Sunday. Sunday fun day. Say it again.
We don't do that here.
We don't do that here. We don't do that here. This freaking candle. 65 pip. It should slow down a bit now, I think. It's like paid, it's been paying people. It's been paying people. At times like 420, so 5. Yeah, that 5 a.m. candle is rolling in the next 30. This hourly candle has already had a few moves in it. Remember what we said, chat? Like each candle is gonna give you maybe like 1 or 2 moves. I think that this one gave a buy and a sell. This one gave a buy and a sell as well. 2 entries. This one the sell played out. This one the buy played out. This one the sell also played out. Actually, they pretty much both played out. The both candles played out here. So this candle is already, I think, it may have exhausted its plays. Sometimes you get a bit more than 2, but it just had like 2 plays. So when the next candle opens, that's going to be the 5 a.m. candlestick, which is a bit slower. Then volume picks up again from that 6 a.m. candle. Eastern. Shout out to my favorite Wakandan. Yeah, sell that she. Full port YOLO. Daily bias bearish. We're at 0.45%. We're literally on the fringes. We're on the fringes of a bearish daily candle here. YOLO. I'm not trading that sheet. 15-minute trying to form a FVG and gold will be trapped again. How can you tell if an FVG is respected? I can tell you when it's not respected. That's when we're gonna get a situation like this. For me, I kind of like to trade through those FVGs. Hello, I just joined. Hello, Roro. FVGs are so useless on gold. Yeah, I mean, like people who trade that stuff, I think they usually trade, what is it, NAS 100, EQ or something like that. Man, that 15-minute was aggressive. Yeah. NQES. NQES. It's coming downtown. I think now it's looking for these players right here. These greedy ones. It might be coming to retest their entries. It's like trying to maybe take out their trailing stops there too. It's like a distribution. The market knows it. The market is not stupid. It knows when people have been paid, and its job is not necessarily to take you out, but if we're going to move up and there's not enough buyers, it may require a bit of correction than to continue moving up, because people would secure profit, right? And then there will be less buyers at this point. So when it comes down, it will entice more people to buy. So sometimes it can come down to a level like this, retest it, and then try and move up again. FVGs are meant to be filled. That's called a fair value gap, because fair value are consolidation zones. Here buyers and sellers are agreeing on price. Then it breaks, creates FVG. Then that zone should be filled at some point. Fair value gap. Fair value gap. Fair value gap. Head and shoulders. It's a fair value gap. an area that is fair in the price. Anchored volume. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, whoa, look at this line here. This line leveled perfectly with this accumulation. Or did it just do that in hindsight? Maybe we get more views on the stream now. Wait, let me put something else here. ABCD pattern. XABCD. No, that's too complicated. The thing about TradingView is it gives you a lot of tools that you can use, but who's using a pitch fan? I'm not gonna lie, I actually use this thing. I use this thing in year one. I used to use something like this in year one. Grand fan. Let's join channel. Coachella. Isn't it Coachella right now? This would be the stage. This is a Coachella stage. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it kind of looks like 3D. Imagine a 3D stream. Should like a 3D stream. Then this would be like coming out your window. Coming at you live. TetraFX stream now in 3D. But yeah, I wonder why you always got these tools which are always showing you that price can move like in circles, you know, and it can move in like all these weird ways, but price only just ever moves up, sideways, or bearish. The only indicator that are worth anything is the VWAP. Yeah, the VWAP is pretty decent. Watching stream with Meta glasses? Yeah, I saw someone once trade with I think with those Apple glasses. You know what would be sick? Elon Musk has already thought about this idea before, where he was literally trying to be Iron Man. The guy was literally trying to be Iron Man. Let me show you. This would be kind of a cool way to do analysis. But I feel like it's actually more work. But let me see if I can find the video. Yeah, check this out. And this is crazy because this was posted 12 years ago. 12 years ago. So Elon was talking about how it feels unnatural to use a mouse, right? Mouse keyboard. So he was like, he got like this camera where you can like actually move it on the computer like this. And then you can zoom into it. You can move it around. You know, you can look at the parts. And the idea is like, it's supposed to help you solve problems. Like, so you'd fix it like you'd fix it in real life, but you'd fix it in like this dimensional space. So if there's a problem and it's not working and you kind of like put the right thing inside of it, then it can actually work on the screen. And I'm like, oh, nice. Okay, so now let's just do this here in real life. I think that's so sick. That's literally like what Iron Man does. Like, he always tries and solves stuff like this, and then, you know, it's pretty cool. I mean, imagine, this was 12 years ago. Like, flip it. Right now, I think he's doing a summit in Dubai. I think he's in Dubai right now. It's kind of like a summit over there. He's talking about AI and how people are not going to have to work anymore. Like, jobs would become optional. And money would still exist in terms of like paying for electricity, certain bills like that. But essentially, money, he says, would not exist as well anymore. But only for those applications which like make a lot of sense for it. But yeah, there's some summit he's in right now. It's actually quite interesting. I haven't fully watched it though. Yeah, man, this is crazy. This is like 12 years ago. This 12 years ago, he hasn't got the goggles. It's the same. This is the same thing Tony Stark uses in Iron Man. It's like this, these panel windows. What the hell is this? What are you sending over here? Who is this guy? Put more, you will get better trades. The POCs, okay. The POC is normally on the consolidation because it's most value traded. Yes, volume traded. Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing is like, is the POC gonna show it here too? Because now it's also starting to get a bit of volume. Hey, good evening, Kevin Diaz. Welcome, welcome. SF movies inspired many. I use two indicators: ICD kill zone sessions, breakout structure. Well, with time and experience, you don't need those. Oh, did I see Bitcoin? No, I haven't seen Bitcoin. Is it still melting over here? Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Back again with the white vans. See this, chat? How many more examples? How many records can my records break? I feel like Kanye here again. More records. But Kobe, I'm the best. But are you a beast and a different animal? Man, but look at this. This is on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame. Price is filling this range. Down to our analysis here, according to my calculations using the secret Fibonacci sequence, we should be heading towards 80,000. $80,000 over here. Look at this. From point A down to point B. Man, if you're gonna lock in TFX concepts, you know, I mean, just try what you're trying right now, because, you know, it takes time. It takes time for people to try and really commit to a certain model. So I understand that. Just do what you're doing right now, but just know that TFX is always here with open arms. Open arms to embrace you. Because, man, it took me... You know how long it took me to get off Fibonacci's? I traded Fibonacci maybe for like 65% of my year one. Like, mainly Fibonacci was like kind of the main thing that I was kind of trying to trade, until at some point I had to get rid of it. You know, it's kind of like a tricycle. When you're gonna ride the big boy bike, you gotta get rid of the tricycles. So you gotta take you some time, you gotta get rid of the tricycles, and then try something that doesn't involve tools to help you, you know, to help you read price action. You know, these things, they take time. But anyway, you know, price is coming down to 80K, filling that range nicely over here. I think that's pretty awesome. That's why I say trading is a skill that even if you don't become profitable at day trading, bro, like just understanding the market like this is so invaluable. It's an invaluable skill. And the only way you're going to do it, I promise you, is just through reading naked charts. So you have to get good at reading naked charts. Takes time, man. It takes time. It took me some time too. Like really, it does take. I don't know what it is about the human psychology, but sometimes when we want something, we just want it, and we just have to see through it until a certain point that we get tired of it. It's just the same way as you get tired of your own shit, right? At some point, you just have to get really tired of your own shit and make a change in your life. How do you develop instincts as anticipation? I think just like watching the charts every day, looking at the way candlesticks move, different sessions, Asia, London, New York, and through that, you're building up your 10,000 hours. And then now once you're understanding and watching the way price moves, now it's going to help you a lot when you have a concept, a trade setup that you're now focusing on a little bit more. So now you're going to focus on how does that specific entry model behave at certain times in the market. And that's how you get good at anticipation and instinct. You got to paper trade something for like, you know, maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And then you're going to see it happen over and over and over again. So you're going to get a natural skill. Like just like this morning's trade, right? This was a natural type of skill. It felt very natural to me because this is a situation I've seen gold do this situation before. You know, I've seen this happen before in the past where it's like prices at a resistance level and then it does a fake out like this, a huge liquidity grab with an accumulation breakout with clean range. I've seen gold do that before. So usually such trades like this, then you're going to build that instinct from seeing it happen over and over and over. Because the market wouldn't do it exactly, but it will do it quite similar. That's the only way that you're going to build that instinct. Do you have a sell? Please don't spam the chat. If you got a sell, then awesome. What would be your target? No idea. If you got a sell here, then your target, I don't know, is probably 40, 46. You have a range here that's about like 58 pips. See, just a like small little break and retest of the zone. Oh, look at that. Little push over here. That's coming to the next magnet. It's gonna be like 40, 46 over here. Can we come down? Small little liquidity grab on the 5-2 right there. It's breaking below these lows. Create a top wick. Nice little top wick with that 8 SMA. Breaking below those previous candlestick lows. Build clean traffic on the left hand side. And it's just clockwork. It's happening like literally every single time in the market. But you gotta tune your eyes to see it. You know, some people caught the same trade I did without being in the signal group and they saw the same moves. And whenever you get people take the same trades as you, it feels really good. BTC at 74K. And this thing is coming down.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Imagine people holding Bitcoin right now. Got a little accumulation reversal right over here we spoke about too. I have like a resistance up there. You see how I broke above this high? This was by a 109. Now, I thought we could at least get one more push up. A little bit of a head and shoulders, but I guess there's so much selling activity, it just went through that level. Because last time it dumped this heavy in 2024, it gave a push up first. 2021. It gave one push up first and then it completely melted. This time it looks like it's just going for it. It broke these highs, little accumulation reversal play right here as it started breaking below these lows. It's also like a accumulation breakout to the downside too. That's why you're seeing that volume come in. Usually it's like that, right? When we take accumulation breaks, you're gonna see candles behave like this. Straight down or behave like this. Straight up. And you see this is doing the same thing. It's filling that range. On the 15, if you think that price can keep going down, then you're gonna base your trade off a higher time frame. So like I see on the 15 over there, on the 15, the 30 minute, we have a support here by 40.40, but we have a speed bump on the 5 by 40.46. There's a speed bump right here, but once you get through that speed bump, there's an additional 58 pips below that support. But those should be the targets. Especially if you're going to have a winning trade, that's going to be a running trade. These are going to be the targets. Dude. But this is already anyway a winning trade. So the break of these lows down by like 30 pips. It's already filled up like 60-70% of this range. Guess TetraFX setup was right. No need 200 indicators. Yeah, no need. I mean, the charts are going to show you when it's time to move. When you see candles start breaking and creating new lower lows like this, I mean, it's already showing you indication that it's getting ready to move. So you just need the setup and then confirmation. And that's all that it is. That's all that you gotta do. I didn't take, but I had other confluences. Yeah, I'm also just watching it. I'm just watching. See, it hit about 65% of the range here has been filled. Order filled. Don't be greedy. Order filled. That's why you should get like on your trading terminal something that's when you're in profit. It's like, don't be greedy. Take profit. Take profit. If 1 hour candle closed below 40.48, we still bear. Am I understanding you correctly? 40.48? Oh, 40.48 here. This is the target. The sell's already happening from 40.54. There's a breakout. That's this was a breakout right here, and that's the range fill. That's a profit. That's a distribution. So this is what the market has paid these traders. You know. So you don't ever take profit based off of where you want to take profit. You got to take profit based off of where the market is telling you to take profit. See, if it's approaching support over here, what do we already know about those levels of support and resistance? You can start to have some reactions. So you got to base your trades off of structure, not off of emotion. Trade what you see, not what you feel. You got to trade what you feel, you're going to get whips. Gold on track for weekly fall as strong US jobs data dents rate cut hopes. Gold slipped on Friday and was heading for a weekly drop as a stronger than expected US jobs report reinforced expectations that Federal Reserve refrained from cutting rates in December meeting. Again, I think at this point we're definitely not going to see all-time highs again. Gold prices are consolidating at the moment, and we see the dollar has strengthened quite a bit. But behind it, there's a lot of speculation whether the Fed will continue to cut interest rates or not. I think now the market is unsure, and especially now when we're going to the end of December, we expect a lot of traders will be taking profit off their positions. And that's what we saw at the end of last week to this week. This is Gold Silver Central MD Brian Lan. The dollar was on track on Friday for its strongest week in more than a month. A stronger dollar makes greenback price gold more expensive for holders of other currencies. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee repeated on Thursday his uneasy about front-loading rate cuts, particularly with progress on inflation towards the Fed's 2% goal. What is it inflation at right now? Like 4%? Inflation percent in the United States of America. Oh, 3%. Annual inflation rate was 3% as of September 2025. in America. America. Gold subdued as strong US jobs data. Okay, so I think that's it. That's the reason why price is moving here today. That and also post NFP. Post NFP, obviously, I mean, that's all tied together. And that's why we're seeing like volume, you know. Maybe not so much direction. A bit of direction. I mean, we are down 0.60%. We tapped like -1% on the daily too. Pretty nice pre-London sell-offs over here as well. Those dipped like for about a... Those did about like 340 pips, 45 pips pre-London session sells. But we're seeing a lot of volume and a bit of trend, but not too trendy. Not super trendy. Can gold fall even more on this level? Yes, gold can fall even down to $4,000 today. $4,000 is not out of reach. I mean, we're just shy of like about 228 pips to hit $4,000. I would not be surprised to see gold continue melt, like possibly during pre-New York into NY. A few months ago, it was a big deal that we broke 2,500 and 3,000 seemed impossible. So who knows? Make your phone on dark mode or light mode. It's on dark mode, but sometimes I switch it. I switch it between light and dark, depending on what I'm doing. I don't like the light mode too much because, you know, the dark mode also saves you battery. Light mode takes a bit more battery. For a scalper, that would be a trade on the 1 minute, but it isn't the move. That move, just a retracement on a higher time frame. Oh, this? I don't know. Because if you're planning on taking a sell, your idea is that price is going to go down, right? You don't want to over-analyze. You don't want to have like analysis paralysis. So if you're going to take a sell, you got to choose a side of the team that you're on. So we're expecting price to even hit 40.46 and then go through 40.46 to 40.39, 40.39 to 40.34. But the last thing you want to do is take a sell here and then start saying that, you know, maybe we're going to have like a retracement. Because now you're going to create analysis paralysis if you got too much stuff on the chart. When I take a buy, I'm just thinking buy. We're going there. But if we don't go there, how can I lose less? Because once you get stuck in, you're stuck in. It's not time for like, you know, second guessing whether the trend is bullish or bearish or the setup correct. Once you're in, you're in. In until you see it through. Do you think Bitcoin can bounce on 80 or keep dipping? I think it can keep dipping through here. Like if it dips, then we're looking at maybe like 67. Looking at 67. Coming back into this previous accumulation. Maybe the market's going to target this zone to see where, if we can get some more buyers, right? So you can see this little area here is where we had this extension. The market could look at tapping into these zones. So it's really struggling to find buyers right now, Bitcoin. So this thing is just crashing. Crashing to like 78. We're still going up. 6 out of 7. Bitcoin is just speculation. What's that? Yeah, what is that? 6, 7. What does that mean? What does 6, 7 mean? 6, 9? Like Takashi 6, 9? Is it like a secret code? Is your actual journal public to view screenshots of your trades would be interesting? Yes, go on Discord. On Discord, go to TFX signals. The links are also there. And the trade is here, the before, after, the C trader, the signal. Like all of that here is on Discord. You go on Discord and you're going to see, you're going to look at my trades and you're going to see what that these trades have in common. I'm gonna just stop posting all my thoughts because at this point I don't think people understand how easy this trading stuff is. Easiest way to make hardest way to make easy money. BTC under buying pressure of 98k. Yeah, this is when was this posted? What time frame is this? Price will always be a sell, blah blah blah. 74. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna send a chart now. Oh, when is this? Oh, this was today. Oh, this was today morning. Oh. When is it? 4:38? No, this was, you literally posted this like how long ago? That was like 15 minutes ago. Why didn't you post this when price was still in the range? If trading is so easy, why are you posting this picture now 15 minutes ago when the daily is already at your target? How does that make sense? Make it make sense. What world do you live in? You know, we've been talking about this since price was all the way up over here. We've been talking about price dipping below 100k to fill this range. You're gonna send a picture when price has already filled the range with an older picture. That's not how it works. If I had a time machine, I think I would do the same thing too. I would just like wait for price to go and then like reverse time and then post my trade and then watch it go again. But that's not how life works. Let's see, trade setups on gold now, entry, This is a pretty good chat GPT. Yeah, if you're gonna post charts and you want to post your progress, just do it like before and after, you know. There's no shame in it if it works or if it doesn't work out. Just do the whole before and after thing. Like from the beginning to the end. Is it like this? From the beginning to the end. Very simple. Very simple. Accountability. Beginning, end. Not that hard. Beginning, end. Because you know, the worst thing in trading is when you're actually right. When you have a good analysis and it plays out and you didn't journal that. You know, that's the worst thing. Or when you're too afraid to journal that idea. Because I do it all the time. I do the before and after pictures. And not only do I do the before and after pictures, if you go on my channel, I have videos. I have videos also explaining what my higher time frame analysis is. You know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. But I at least hold myself accountable by showing it beforehand. Going back in time for a money-making opportunity needs to be the most lazy and boring thing you could do with a time machine. Apparently, according to Brian Cox, scientists say, even if you had a time machine, you couldn't alter the future. You couldn't go back into the past and change something in the future. Because the way the universe works, it's always going to, like, let's say if you wanted to plan dropping a piano on somebody's head so someone was never born, right? And the guy's walking through the door. Basically what the universe would tend to do is maybe he has to tie a shoelace and a bird sits on the piano and then the piano falls and he survives. So you can never actually go back into the past to change the future with a time machine. But you can go into the future. Something like that. That's what scientists say. You can go into the future. Or, yeah, something like that. You can go into the future. Unless we're in a multiverse, so you can create another existence with every change. Yeah, I really like those topics. They kind of get your brain thinking a lot. Y'all ever see that Interstellar video? Wait, let me show you. So trippy. Yeah, look at how crazy this is, right? So remember in Interstellar, every time when they land on this planet over here, so time moves differently, right? Because the planet is right next to a black hole. So this is like every second on Earth. So in the movie, there was a ticking noise. Like every time there's a tick, like tick, tick, that was supposed to show like a day on Earth. And this guy like has a side-by-side video of like, look at how slow they're moving. And look at how fast time is moving on Earth. Like, people just don't understand. Like, the universe is so trippy. It is beyond comprehension. Look at that. The door is moving. The guy's like, we got to make every second count when we're down there. And when they land, the door freaking opens so slowly. Basically, when that door opened, it was already like 3 days on Earth. Miller's planet. Just look at the way that time moves so differently. Like when you get closer to a black hole. That's why even Brian Cox says, when we go, if we're going to travel the galaxy, it's forbidden almost for you to come back and tell people what you saw. Because so much time would have passed by. Even if you travel at light speed, so much time would have passed by on Earth that by the time you got back, there might not even be an Earth anymore. So it's like almost forbidden. Yeah, crazy stuff. I love this. I love science, man. I think it just helps you always think more outside of the box. This stuff melts my brain. Like, even if you look at Elon Musk, that's why I say people who like Elon Musk, they function on a whole different level, because he might not even be around to see majority of what he's creating right now, but they all just setting themselves like 15-year plans, etc., etc. They're not always planning for tomorrow. That's why he has so many ideas, you know. Like a guy like Elon has so many ideas, especially when it comes to AI. You know, he is one of the co-creators of ChatGPT. I had ChatGPT with me, a story about an interstellar being that came to Earth to experience time in our speed. It's 100 times faster than time on his own planet. Everyone wants to be Elon Musk, but not everyone can be. Yeah, we're accumulating here. We got a resistance right now. It's getting ready for the next move. It could even be a reversal play off this setup right here. You got this setup, boom, boom, boom. That could be that reversal play back into the range. If it starts breaking above 40.55, but it's definitely accumulated. Look, it's starting to break these lows. If it breaks these lows, then it should just keep moving down. Ideally. Oh, there we go. We just got some sellers in right now. You see how it broke as well? It just triggered some sell orders. It just triggered some sell potential. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Instead of breaking the highs, it broke the lows. 20 pips. Easy, clean, simple. If it broke the highs over here, it would move up as a reversal play. But you see, since it didn't break the highs, it broke the lows. So it triggered the sell orders. Very nice. Amazing. Awesome. Congratulations if you caught that move. I don't know if you caught that move or you didn't catch that move, but you know, it is what it is. You got a nice little 8 SMA over here as well. Beautiful 8 SMA right on top of that 1 minute candle. Kiss of death. Volume. Look at that volume come in. You got to go through the WAP database. Like if you're going to join TFX, if you're going to join the mentorship, go through the WAP database before anything else. Like really go through it. Trade easy day on London. Yeah, exactly. And whenever there's so much volume like this, even if this becomes a fake out, because there's so much volume, the market is more forgiving, right? It gives you like decent pushes before the reversals. That's what I love about gold right now. It says breaking below that support. It looks like it came up to just retest this area. Maybe it was looking for more sell orders to continue pushing through that support. Then it created like continuation play right over here. So that was the first entry at the break of these lows. Boom, 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 distributed, take profit, retrace, maybe look to fetch some more orders, and then it gave like a re-entry opportunity right over here. Also a pretty nice way to maximize gains. We covered this in the simulations on WAP. Hey brother, what leverage are peeps trading on gold? Are peeps trading? I think like 1 to 200 is enough for most people. Because last week, Nasu, no volume. You need that 1 minute entry model I was using yesterday and today. London is good for safe entries. Yesterday and today, London is good for safe. Is good and safe for entries. Bro, when will water flow in BTC stop? Maybe when we hit that support. Real talk, do you think this volatility will continue past Thanksgiving into, what is that, Xmas? Or no, is this the last week for fun times? No, we got a lot of more fun times ahead of us, man. You know, the thing is, like, you got to show up when people don't want to show up. I remember in 2023 people were not trading. Like, there was a lot of people on YouTube who took this month here off in 2023. And this month, I was going hard on this month. I had like 31 trades here in December. Look at how awesome that my December was. I remember specifically this year, people were taking a break off the market. They're already saying things like, oh, you know, December holidays are coming around. But man, look at how amazing December holidays were. I'm planning on locking in again. I don't know about you guys, but I got goals. I have goals and I need to meet my goals and my targets when I'm still having the time to do these things. You know, all that extra stuff is going to come later. That's only going to come later in my life. But right now, you got to lock in. Got to lock in. All I want to do is work right now. You know, all I want to do is work. So we're going to see. But last December was a bit slow. Last December was a bit slow. It took like about 18 trades. So I think like 2025, the way it's been so far, I have no reason to think that volume is going to die out. Man, look at this thing. Boom, boom. Did like about 56 pips off that break. But it seems like it did actually went for more orders again. Like if you notice, it went up for more orders right over here before pushing down again. Basically, it's like the same thing that just literally happened right here. It broke, paid out, first round of payouts, came back for more orders. You see with the market, you start seeing the trend with the market, and you start to see how repetitive it is. Came back for more orders, sold off. Came back for more orders, sold off even further. Say kind of like similar thing, I guess, here too. That was a pretty strong pullback though. It came out, hit the targets, went for a really deep order fetch, and then completely sold off over there. Health packs. Do you have a real life job or full-time trader? No, I don't have a real life job. I trade full time. A real life job. In real life. Oh, do you have in real life? Oh, this is real life, man. This is real life. But I don't have a 9 to 5. This is real life. Or maybe I'm just an AI. I'm just a guy on the screen over here. For real. You got a job, sir? How do you afford to trade? How do you afford to pay your bills when you're just sitting there? When you're just sitting here, how do you afford to pay your bills? Oh, that's gonna be a mystery. It's a big mystery. How do you afford to pay your bills? I don't know. God provides for me. That's what I'll say. That's the best answer right there. God provides for me. That's how I afford to pay my bills. I owe nothing. I owe everything I have to God. I own nothing. So when you ask me how much I have, I can't tell you how much I have, because everything is up there. The Lord taketh, the Lord giveth, like the Lord taketh. But this is the next zone over here. This is going to be about like 44 pips. So it's still playing out the way we anticipated it to play out. The first time was just a pull up to continue hitting first target by 46. Second target, remember I said, like, if you're going to pick a direction, you pick a direction, right? And you want to see your trade. You want to see your trade go through those levels. So that was not, some people said like maybe a retracement, but if you're taking a sell, you're thinking, where can price go to? Because you remember we spoke about this 5-minute support here, but on the 15, we had that next support level right here, right? It had a bit more clean range, but we had a speed bump on the 5-minute right over there. So you see price is just hitting these zones are like magnets. This is the next zone right over here by 40.40, heading down towards like 40.34. Have you noticed this week the huge gold moves? Positioning in Asia session, 500 point moves before London opens. Yeah, man, golds have been really good. Gold has been really good. Amen, brothers. Same for me. God always provides. I suspect you're an Indian. You are Indian in CGI. I was locked in, brother. If markets are printing, I'm here. No Santa rally this year. High tariffs on the North Pole. Yeah, exactly. Now you see this? It's breaking the next support. So it can keep trying to come down to 40.34 over there. I'm 2% short to pass my challenge and I started 4 days ago. Godspeed, Chris. Sometimes the finish line is harder than the actual race, so gotta lock in there in the last few meters. Oh, look at that. Look at this over here. Price has now filled the next range. You see how fast it did it? Because those levels are like magnets. What happens when you put a magnet on a fridge? Look at this. Next magnet here has been filled. Awesome. Man, what an awesome day this has been. Got a 5% trade. Gold is moving nicely. End of the week over here. And we can be moving down to $4,000 is what I think that the target is going to be for the day. $4,000 is what the target is going to be. That's a psychological magnet now. That's when the monthly candle over here is going to flip and then just continue selling off. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite interesting. You know, I'm the type of guy who's not going to trade the NFP or the FOMC. I'm just going to come in the next day. Because on the next day, man, that's really when you get the cleanest volume. The cleanest price action, you get direction. But you don't want to trade on the day of FOMC or on the day of NFP. You got to try to come in the next day. And because that's like a wave, right? The wave starts yesterday and then it's going to keep going today. And it's easier to catch it like that. It's harder to catch it when the wave is like forming, because it's a bit harder, and then it's like very choppy, as you can even see with yesterday's PA. It's like very choppy. Then it's easier afterwards to catch it. But a lot of the time people think they're missing the move. There's so much money in the economy. How can you miss the move? How? There's literally like hundreds of millions of dollars been traded every time price moves a few pips. And your only job is out of this $1 trillion market daily. How can you pull out like a small piece of that cake? Trillions of dollars been traded on a daily basis. How can you pull out, you know, just a small piece? Like it's $100. Imagine trillions of. It's like when somebody splashes you with money and you're still finding it hard to catch a note. You know, it's like still hard to catch a note. And like there's so much money being splashed in your way. And all you got to do is even just take out even $100 out of the $1 trillion that's been splashed in you. How can you even pull out just even $100? And you know, that same $100 can be like $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. You know, it doesn't matter. The only thing that changes at that point is your lot size. But it's kind of a crazy thought. Think about it. You're getting splashed by trillions of dollars. And sometimes you're going to find it so hard to even catch something. Right? It's like when someone like throws money in the sky, it's kind of hard to catch it because it's like moving. It's kind of like moving like that. You know, money is kind of elusive. Comes down like this, you can kind of miss it. Imagine a crumb from $1 trillion. Yeah, just imagine. Even just a small piece of that. Small piece of that cake. So that's all it is. Like, you're just trying to catch small piece every day. You got to start small, right? Stop paying your phone bill. Then stop paying, you know, small things, cheeky takeout. Just start small, and then that's going to increase with time naturally. But once you start paying the smaller bills, man, you start to feel a lot more motivated with a small, even if you're buying like smallest possible thing, it feels real. That's why I like. Have you guys ever watched those videos on YouTube where a guy walks on the street and he throws a Tesla keys in the sky and it says, if you catch it, it's yours? Man, like 90% of those people never catch the Tesla keys. He throws the keys up, or he can throw a bag in the sky and say, if you catch it, it's yours. Always miss it. And then they say, oh, you could have won a Tesla. And it's like, oh man, I could have won a Tesla. You know, sometimes he even gives them like a second chance. He gives them a second chance and they still fuck it up. And that's psychology for you. Now you see psychology. Now you see how important psychology is. So, man, when I make those psychology videos, don't sleep on those psychology videos. Because I know a lot of y'all, you prefer to have these technical analysis videos. But man, don't sleep on the psychology videos. You see? Psychology is everything. Without psychology, you can't do nothing. That's why Kanye says, if you grow up your whole life thinking you can't do anything, you won't do anything. And he grew up his whole life being taught that he could do everything. Even is so crazy enough to run for president. Remember when Kanye was trying to run for president? And it's always the delusional people who make a difference in this world. It's all psychology. This is a very important zone of resistance. Couldn't help myself. Got a buy, a little falling knife catch, but it's like a winning trade, so I think it's pretty nice. At least, but yeah, I mean, took an L in psychology. You got the money, but you know the problem is like when you're making money in trading and you're making it with bad habits, that's the worst thing you can do, because you're just rewarding your bad habits. So that means next time there's a higher chance you're gonna do it again. You're gonna do it again, so it's not good. When you pass a funded challenge with bad habits, it's not good. You're rewarding yourself a bad habit, and you are proving to your subconscious that you can't even trust yourself when you take a trade based off a bad habit or based off breaking rules. Imagine that. You are telling and reinforcing to your subconscious that you can't trust yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, then what does that mean? That means you have no control. And having no control is it's honestly one of the scariest things, to have no control. So you gotta tell your subconscious, hey man, it's time to follow the rules now. I know you're trying to like sabotage me, but we gotta make a change now. Now I'm in charge. Because you know that's how a habit is. A bad habit takes control over you. So you have to tell the habit, hey, listen, I'm in charge. We need to take this control back. Because the way your brain works, it has receptors in it that has gotten used to behaving in a certain pattern. That's why you're gonna see like people who like experiment on the brain and they try and move limbs. Like, you know, they say like the CIA used to like plant bombs on rats and use the signals from the brain to control the rats. You know, so if you can't even rewire those signals which are making you perform bad habits, then you know it could get very, very difficult. Very difficult to I guess be a good trader. Yeah, but the thing is, like, you work on those signals every day and they get less and less powerful with time. But you obviously don't want to relapse, so you have to like already have a habit of removing those habits all the time. You know, they say the thing about let's say making money for yourself, like every day the price changes. Every day there's a different price and you have to be willing to pay that price. Some days are going to be easier, some days are going to be harder. If you want to go to the gym and you have a certain gym body and head, so some days are going to be easy, some days are going to be hard, but you have to be willing to pay that price every single day. So it's the same thing as in trading. Like, not every day is going to be your easiest day, correct? So every day the price changes. Today, maybe you feel disciplined. You're watching TFX stream, you feel a bit more patient. But tomorrow, maybe you're going to trade cryptocurrencies on the weekend. And then the price has changed. Now it's a weekend, maybe, you know, your different psychological state. So are you still willing to pay the price of discipline, even on those days that you don't feel disciplined? So you got to be willing to pay that price every single day. If you're not willing to pay that price, then I think that the best thing is just to stay away from the market. The best advice I ever got was every choice you make reaffirms something. So what is it that you're affirming with what you're doing? Yes. Thanks for this. I needed to hear this. Yeah, exactly. What is it that you're affirming with what you're doing? Ever see the old Apple Crazy Ones commercial, That's Life? No, I haven't. Worst thing to experience, being rewarded for doing a wrong thing. Yeah, I mean, like even Matthew McConaughey talks about this extensively. You know, now he's in retirement, so he's looking back at the industry and he's thinking about like the ways people get rewarded for doing bad things. You know, so if you see him on podcasts, I think that's kind of like what he's been talking about a lot of late. Like how in the movie industry, like a lot of people sometimes getting rewarded for maybe doing the wrong things. So it's having like some kind of a existential realization of certain things like this. So you see, like, you can't escape psychology. You're not gonna find, you can find a system perfect, but now you have to figure out for yourself, because that's why I said I run up an account towards like $5,000 when I started finding profitability, but then I quickly started running that back down again because I was over trading, I was over risking, I was trying to fight the market at that point, right? Because you can have the skill that's gonna give you the ability to make your entries and to catch your runners, but how can you keep the money is always the question. All right, so now you got to do that inner work. So what I'm teaching you here is first technicals and then also psychology. Because I think with the technicals, you can see how price behaves. You can see how these zones we spoke about today acting like magnets. You can see the distribution from these key levels. You know, I'm not making anything up over here. It's literally, it is what I'm explaining to you, like how the whole thing operates. Like even with what's in the WAP database, you can cross-reference everything from when we hopped onto the chart right over here. Had that move up, had that move up again, small retracement, and then continue to move up. Had another breakout right over here, another push up towards that resistance. We started seeing our reactions, but the candlestick still reflipped, came down. Same old accumulation that broke out right here, paid off first round of sellers. Had that liquidity grab above that high, came back down after paying off the first round, retracing and coming back down again. It set up another accumulation, which is secondary entry, which could have been a reversal, but it didn't break the highs. It broke the lows and continued to move down bearish. So we've literally been tracking this whole thing the whole time using TFX concepts, and we can see the power of this. You can see the power of the technicals, right? And at the same time, what's more important is psychology. That's why you haven't seen me overtrade. That's why I don't overtrade. I paper trade, and the best thing you can do when you're not trading is paper trade. Watch how trades are playing out, and that's kind of like sharpening the sword. So you're sharpening the sword, so on Monday you're going to be ready to slaughter the markets again. On Sunday we'll sharpen the sword again. We'll do a free simulation here on YouTube. Nelson, thank you for the sub. Can we see $4,000? Now we are 350 pips away. Yeah, 4K is going to be a magnet right here. That's what the market is looking at. If the market had eyes, it would be eyeing out $4,000. And I remember this lesson I learned about markets is like whenever they have those psychological marks like this, it doesn't matter what happens in the economy, but price will end up going towards this target. So if market is planning on 4K, 4K is going to be met today. Like nothing can stand in its way. We're down about like 0.98, actually like 1%. Bitcoin is down about like 5.35%. It's just complete melting here of Bitcoin. Jeez. Man, Bitcoin. Look at this. Coming downtown. Russia has started selling off its gold reserves for the first time to pay for the war. The Bank of Russia has, for the first time, started real sales of physical gold from its reserves as part of the... Oh, crazy. But the question is, who are they selling it to? Downtown to Chinatown. I bet China. See, 4K chat, 4K. I think the price is really trying to get through these levels. 4K is the mark, 4K is the mark, 4K is the mark. Could easily get through these levels here on the left-hand side too. Where could BTC pullback be? You're trying to catch a dip? I don't trade like that though.
We don't do that here.
I don't do that. You know what you're doing right now? You're speculating. You're speculating where that price is going to pull back. That's why for me, my analysis was once we take support by 100K over here, we're going down. Because I like to trade with the market. If the market is going this way, I'm going to get my train ticket. I'm going to get on the train and I'm going to say, okay, let's go this way. But I'm not going to stand in front of the train and think, when is this train going to stop? So, you know, when it stops, it stops. But the target here is 78K to fill that range. This was the whole idea. It's 78K, you know, it's already filled the range. I learned that lesson the hard way. That I should never speculate on markets. The more I speculated, the more it was feeling like gambling. Catching tops, catching bottoms. Remember, it's part of the 10 commandments of trading. Is to not call tops and bottoms. Remember your commandments. Did you read your commandments before you started your trading day today? Remember we spoke about this? Did you read your commandments? Thou shalt continuously educate thyself. You see, you got concentrate on risk. Oh, stick to your plan. Where was this other one here? This was the one that we're reading. This was a really good one. You see, there's a second commandment here. Don't try to pick tops and bottoms. So every morning when you wake up, you gotta have this on your phone. You gotta read the commandments. Don't try to pick tops and bottoms. Plan your trade and trade your plan. Don't add to a losing position. Let your winners run and cut your losers short. Don't get married to a trade. Be open-minded and flexible. Don't let a small loss turn into disaster. Think long-term and protect your capital. Don't make impulsive trading decisions. What are your thoughts on Elliott wave analysis? I'm not sure, but I think like everything kind of has some kind of truth to it. Like Fibonacci has a truth to it. Elliott wave has a truth to it. A lot of these things have truths to them, you know. But the question is, can you consistently apply that knowledge? What kind of strategy do you call that catches the peak and the dip? I call it John Wick. That's a John Wick strategy. But for John Wick strategy, you just need price to consolidate like this in a big range. And then people are going to be selling the highs and buying the lows. You got buyers down here, sellers up here. Because usually sometimes the market ranges. So as it's coming down like this, you can get really nice entry confirmations for price to keep moving up again to fill the range within the bigger, to fill the clean traffic within the range. So it comes down. So your confluence is you're at the bottom of the range and you're getting your entry confirmation to sell at the top. And the same way for sellers. If you get your sell confirmations to sell at the top, you're at the top of the range because that's currently the market condition right now, is it's moving sideways. That's safer than if price is coming down like this and you're going to say this is the dip and then it dips again. Then this becomes another dip and then it dips again. Another dip and it dips again. Because sometimes the market will just move like this. So you're going to have a better chance if you're planning on taking same positions. You're either buying the lows like this or selling the highs within an accumulation than when price is creating new lower lows. Right? This is really bad. This is a bad habit because price is going down. This is a good habit because, you know, there's a probability based off of market structure that price goes up, and based on market structure again, price moves down. But, you know, that's in context. You also take that in context because sometimes you're going to have like the market condition is going to be moving like this, but then it's just like come into a small break like this. So actually you're in a bullish trend. So what you're looking for is a continuation, because if you're going to take a sell over here, in a bullish environment, there's a chance that you're gonna get faked out, and that becomes a fake out, a liquidity grab. Sometimes it happens, but it shouldn't technically happen if it doesn't want to move down. But sometimes it can happen where it's like looking for orders and then it breaks the highs. So you kind of want to be risk averse and then only trade in the direction you think price is going. I think your strategy, I think that strategy works better on HTF. For us SMC, it's more durable. I love the John Wick strategy. Every TA is wrong until it isn't. Oh, trader, I haven't entered for a long time, couldn't catch it, but thanks to you, brother, I have been profitable trader. I use your strategy every time, setting my limits for 1 trade a day. Amazing, Raven. Very well done. Very well done. Yeah, I think that's really good. I appreciate that you say that. Let's see. Some FX. Consolidation breaks. Risk like 70 bucks. Oh, what? Oh, 100 bucks. I thought I saw 1,000 there. Got 100 bucks. Very nice. Followed the rules. Wow, look at this. All consolidation breaks. You're taking them during mostly during what? Asia. Oh, you're mostly trading Asia session and gold. Mainly gold. You see, you tried a Euro JPY trade. It's kind of like a loss over here, but you know, gold is the one. The gold is the one you kind of want to focus on. So you got more gold. And profit or loss. Very nice. You see, you got 100 bucks over here. You got minus $58. Amazing risk management here. Amazing. Yeah, sometimes it's gonna get big. Sometimes you get like minus 140, but you want to try to keep it small. But I think this is really good. Look at this. Every day, 100 bucks. 100 bucks. Just looking to pull out 100 bucks from this $1 trillion market. See, followed rules, followed rules, followed rules. This is what you want. This is what I do also in my head every month. You know, I'm looking for 90% of the time that I'm following my rules. But you want to have this section here being ticked majority of it. You don't always gonna follow your rules. You know, you're not always gonna follow your rules. But even if you follow your rules and it was a loss, you should tick it there. If you didn't follow your rules and it's a loss, now you know why you got the loss. I think that's really nice. Some nice dubs over here. Mainly long positions I see too. This is very good. Model entry to the 3 p.m. Man, look at the time that you're trading as well. 1 to 2 a.m. So you're giving yourself 2 hourly candlesticks, focusing on, you know, 1 or 2 trades per hourly candle that you know that you can catch. 1 or 2 trades in each hourly candle, but you're just trying to catch 1 trade per hourly candle, but you can get at least, if you give yourself 2 hourly candles, I find is a sweet spot most of the time, you know. 1 can be a bit finicky sometimes, but at least like 2 hours is really nice. Just to be able to catch something. So very nice. WWW. Dubs in the chat. I make the money and I lose it. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of people. They're gonna make the money and then they're gonna lose it. Because most of the time people can make the money, but they can't keep the money. You gotta make it. I have no doubt that the more you keep pushing with trading, you are going to make money, but now keeping it is always a problem. How can I help you? Just tune into the stream. Just tune in. What journal is that, Raven? Yeah, what journal is this? It kind of looked like Notion. Is this Notion? Yeah, this is Notion. This is his Notion here. I don't know if it works for the others too, but my trades improve once I change to 1-to-1 RR from 1 to 3. Yeah, because obviously 1-to-1 is much more easier to catch, right? 1 to 3 is always, you don't want to look for 1 to 3 all the time. A 1-to-1, and you know that's the idea behind. I'm a very big fan of securing something. You know, so for me, I like those 1-to-1s because I want to always secure something. And then every now and then you can hit like a runner. If you need that stimulus check. Like what Trump is planning on doing. I think he's giving people like $2,000 in the US about a stimulus check. 90% 1-to-1 is better than 60%. Yeah, I mean, if you can secure something, that's always good. Get ready is coming. Nice barcode. Oh. Oh, nice. This should be pushing it down again to like what? Keep quick. Slowly but surely heading down to like 4,000 over there. Nice little barcode, huh? I'm gonna see like a strong break out of this. It's a very interesting barcode because you can't see it on the 5-minute. The 5-minute actually looks super normal. Then you dive on the 1-minute, then you're like, hey, what's going on here? Barcoding is happening to go up or down. I would say still down. I would still feel better with sells. The daily bias is still bearish. Thanks for your streams. Learning a lot here. Welcome, welcome, Albert. Agreed, Moz. Even if 1 to 3 is more profitable, the frequent wins from 1-to-1 is great. Yeah, it's good for your side. Man, especially when you're gonna start trading, it's so important for you to have winning trades because that's gonna really help your psychology. So it's better that you're securing even at a 1-to-1 because that's gonna keep the morale. That's gonna keep you kind of like going and actually understanding that it's okay not to trade every day, that you can even just not trade because now you're seeing a bit more of consistent results if you're gonna secure something. And if you have a winning day, man, nothing feels good than having a trade today and then calling it a day as a winning trade. You know, you start really building that mentality. Because now when you're holding a trade, you know what's worse? I once held a swing position for 3 days that hit stop loss. Because I was looking for a big risk to reward and with a big stop loss as well. A really big stop loss. And nothing is worse than being in that drawdown for 3 days. You know, you kind of like busy doing other things and you gotta look at your phone and you still look at your phone and see if you're out of the drawdown. Then you're like, oh man, still in the drawdown. Still in the drawdown over here. And you know, that plays a huge toll on your psychology. So what I started doing was I started focusing on securing something within the day. I see that break. I want to see how that break's gonna look. 5 minutes creating a top wick. Beautiful. New 5-minute candle. I'm expecting a big break, a big push from that. Let's see, creating top wick, creating top wick. Very healthy top wick. We got some rejections though on the 5-minute too. Got 1, 2, 3. I know some of you are finding it very difficult to resist, but if you're not planning on trading, don't take the trade. The worst thing you're gonna do right now is take a trade you didn't plan to take and then have that be a losing trade. You know, so you gotta control you gotta respect your plan and the rules that you set for yourself. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Can we get a break? Zero drawdown on that reflip. Nice. One minute create support. It got 7 seconds. 6 seconds. It's breaking in the last 4 seconds. Ooh, just create a support would be nicer. Yeah, nicer support and then break solid. Solid break with time. It's about a move, chat. It's about a move. Right now we're at point A. I want to see it move down. Retail is wrong 90% of the time. You got this lone, oh yeah, lone trader. Yeah, if you want to take a buy, sir. Take a buy, and you know you gotta take a buy, and you're gonna stand by that buy and say, okay, awesome, I'm gonna take a buy here. But now when it starts to go against you, you have to think also, how can you lose less if that buy is not playing out? See, it needs to break these lows right over here. Wow, completely reversing here. It's not breaking any lows. It's not pushing up. Maybe it is a buy. You see, stand by your word. Stand by your word. Trade your plan. Plan your trade, trade your plan. Let's see if it takes out these highs by 40.37. Okay, now it's taking out the highs. So it shouldn't do that unless it wants to move up. But if you're looking for a sell and you're sticking to your bias, maybe because you know the daily is bias, then sometimes you get like a very nice confluence where it starts to pull down, and then you're gonna look at the 5 minute and be like, wow, we got a liquidity grab here. And then you're gonna use a liquidity grab as a confluence for price to continue moving down bearish. Price is taking a piss, staying away. That was a nice barcode though. Very nice barcode. It was a good barcode. I mean, that's how we took our trade yesterday. We just kind of like focused on one direction, and then when the market gives you that liquidity grab confluence, so nice to see. And that's what I also had as my trade this morning too. I got a liquidity grab confluence for the sells. It could be a thing that you wait for, like if you really want the liquidity grab confluences, because sometimes what a liquidity grab is like just other traders paying the price to show you the direction. But at the same time, if you're doing that, you have to be okay with missing the move. So if you're gonna miss a move, you're not gonna play the victim if you're waiting for liquidity grab confluence. So it's like all preemptive. Yeah, 5 minutes about closing in about 50 seconds. And that's going to be in 10 minutes, the pre-NY time. You know, like this 5 minute, the reason why for the sells would have been so beautiful is because it's still fresh. It's still fresh, and it was so close to the lows that it needed to break. Down over here. Looks a bit different. You can see it better on the 1 minute, but it looks so good to break those lows because now you have all of this steam in your direction, in your favor and confluence from the beginning when it was still like a doji. But you see now it can still play out beautifully. But since it already had like a push, there's a bit of a difference, but it can still play out. And sometimes I still take those types of trades. I can even show you one recently that I took, which was basically that. Like the 5 minute had already moved a bit, but with a confirmation that it can still keep moving up. See, like this is the one right here. The 5 minute came from the bottom to the top, but it kept pushing up. That's one, and I think there's even another one somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere around there. But it's always nicer to have it like fresh. right? To have it fresh, like right here and then dump. The 5 minutes are quite important as well, because they kind of also dictate sometimes the type of drawdown that you can expect. 30-minute, no bottom wick. I got a bottom wick. Previous candle didn't have a bottom wick, which is also kind of crappy because you don't need necessarily bottom wick, but it's good to have a bottom wick because that creates a range for this next candle to continue moving down. And then re-break, and then as that range has been formed to move down, the re-break of the previous candlestick lows also gives a momentum confirmation signal. So it is nice to have those top and bottom wicks too. Look at this, look at the 5 minute over here. Even open with no top wick. Maybe create like a bit of an imbalance that was formed from this candlestick pushing up like that. But how much did it peak there on the break anyway? Peaked at about like what, 20 pips? That's typically when we'd go to like break even. If we had a bigger stop loss. We had a tighter stops, easy 16 pip. Zero drawdown move on this. Any short trade plan? Yes, I mean, the idea was that price could break below support over here by 40.32 and then keep moving down, but instead it broke the highs, not the lows. I focus more on DXY index rather than gold. Awesome. 30-minute. Yeah, 30-minute. Literally now is the best time to sell. Godspeed. Yeah, we can clean this analysis here because this is going to be the next resistance that price is trying to break from to try and fill some of this range. It's like 87 pips because there's a lot of speed bumps. Usually it's quite difficult for price. Even if price trying to come down, it's quite difficult with these speed bumps over here. You got like these levels of support as price is coming towards this zone. But it's easier for it to technically like move and correct a range like this. Just the same way when we spoke about how price was breaking below this support to fill this range and then later fill this range and then later fill this range. So it's the same idea, but now, you know, it's like the only thing that you can actually see that's clean is unfortunately the buys above like this resistance. But we'll see, maybe price gonna accumulate here for a bit longer and then attempt to re-break the lows to keep pushing down to our psychological mark. But that's the target for today, and that's kind of what like I want to see price do, is just move bearish overall. So I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Remember, it's Friday. Don't over risk, don't over trade. Take it easy and enjoy your weekend. I will see you all on Sunday. Let's get the simulation. Let's get this. See ya.
No time for this slip, homie. Now we bout to dip.